Hello, I'm Pam Hoffman, Everyday Spacer.
I'm Jeff Miller, 2049 Outfitters.
At Everyday Spacer, we show regular folks how to personally and directly participate in space exploration, science, and astronomy. We're here on Friday nights at 9 p.m. Pacific Time, 12 midnight Eastern Time, and 2 p.m. on Saturday in Queensland, Australia. Right, Cliff? I know he's here already. We're broadcasting live from Thousand Oaks, California. Before we get going, we have two things to mention. First, it's not Mercury that I saw in the early morning in the east. It's either Saturn or Jupiter. I think it's Jupiter. Second, Jeff won't be here next week, so I'll do the show myself.
I'm leaving on a jet plane. Don't know when I'll be back. Well, actually, I'll be back on Tuesday.
Yeah. The following Tuesday.
Yeah. Okay. Tonight's topic is Artemis and 2069. If we still have any viewers left after my bout of singing, we'll be back in 8.3 seconds.
Landing on the moon for the first time. Oh, hey, Tex.
Hi, Tex.
Absolutely. You are always welcome, my friend.
And Janie.
Hi, Janie. How was your trip?
Yeah.
It sounded like I got some emails. I think it was pretty good. Mm-hmm. So landing on the moon for the first time was a significant achievement in the history of our world. Will they celebrate this into the future, say 100 years from now in 2069?
There are examples of people recognizing significant events from 100 years ago or more. We were chatting about it and realized that a lot of them were related to wars. If you're from another country, are there celebrations of 100-year-old events? Hey, Daniel.
And I did think of another one, but I have it in the notes here in a minute. Recently I saw, for example...
Dawn.
Oh, hey, Dawn. Welcome. I saw on Facebook something about Bastille Day. I guess it was July 14th, 1789. Anybody can confirm that'd be great.
Yeah, and contemporary to that, relatively within a decade or so, 1776, the Independence Day in the U.S. 100 and some years, going on about 150 years ago, and Memorial Day. It's
been 200 years.
Yes, 250 years.
Okay.
Memorial Day was originally about the sacrifices of the Civil War soldiers, and it's morphed into celebrating all of our dead soldiers.
Kind of fascinating how these things kind of change over the years. I did think, and we were listening last night to Radio Paradise, one of the places I really enjoy, and I was thinking, because I think the Vivaldi piece came on, right? Mm-hmm. And I was like, music. Well, there's lots of pieces of music that have come to us over the centuries, and they are still popular. They remain fresh and significant to us, and we listen to them. And anyway, I saw a comment.
Yeah, Jamie. Fabulous trip. Great learning with essential oil scientists and lab techs, farmers, and new technologies. Oh, excited to share my newsletters and workshops. Cool.
Yes, I saw your emails. Yeah. All right. So speaking of morphed, it hasn't even been 100 years, and Space Week, which is the time we remember for the landing on the moon, got moved to October. And that we actually did talk about that a bit at last episode. It's no longer about just the moon landing of Apollo 11. It's more about all kinds of space stuff. And it's in October so that the schools can take advantage of, studying space.
Yeah, but instead of celebrating first steps on the moon, I kind of think that it's watered down now to be all space stuff. It's kind of like we used to have holidays for various presidents. And then they just decided, well, let's just pick one day and call it President's
Day. Yeah.
And so they're not honoring George Washington. They're not honoring Abe Lincoln. It's just
somewhere
president.
Between.
It's just presidents, and you get a day off work.
And I don't even know if people remember that it's about either of those.
Yeah.
And some things have gotten lost, like women got the vote in the United States 100 years ago in 1920. And in 2020, you all may remember, everything kind of shut down, and whatever celebrations that were planned were all of a sudden just gone. Something as important as the Nuremberg Code has already gotten lost, and it's only been about 70 years. Did anybody even know that it was the 70th anniversary? I think it was a couple of years ago now.
Yeah.
And time will tell, I guess, for Apollo 11. I
Well,
hope it's huge in 100 years.
Yeah, and who out there actually knows what the Nuremberg Code is? That's
It's actually significant and simple. There's some wonderful pieces to it, and there's a great book out there about it. In fact, he makes some commentary about what's been happening and what happened in 2020, and then all the pieces of the Nuremberg Code are in the book as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I recommend that highly. Let's see, it's Ken McCarthy.
Yeah.
Ken McCarthy wrote that. Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, will we even remember Apollo 11, in 2069? I hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah. But Artemis 2 is the next mission to the moon. Artemis 1 flew by the moon last November, from November 16th through December 11th. So that was a long trip.
Yeah, and I didn't even know it had gone. I kind of was like, oh, it flew already. Okay.
We did talk about it, but it was kind of a non-event. They just basically lobbed a missile.
Yeah, I think some people took note of it. But
yeah, and
it is pretty significant.
We did it at the time.
Okay. I just forget.
But basically, it's 20 some days, circling the to the moon and back, but they could do that because there wasn't a crew. So they took a slower route and did some maneuvers that they might not have done otherwise.
Tex has to leave us.
What?
Yeah, he's on emergency call. Oh,
yep.
Cliff says, got some bad news. It's going to flood. Oh, my God. Oh, that's why you bought a telescope.
Stop that. Stop that, Cliff.
Don't you want some good weather? Hey, Scott's in the house. Hi there. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. Oh, and Jeff's got a page to share. Okay, let's put that up for Jeff.
Yeah, so Artemis 1, yeah,
we did that.
Okay, yeah.
That's why I scrolled up.
Basically, here, I can't scroll looking at that screen. I need to scroll looking at this screen. There we go. Now I can scroll.
There you go.
Significantly, no crew listed because there wasn't one.
Right.
And all the stuff. The interesting thing about it is looking at the trajectory here is that they kind of, this looks like, just 2 loops around the moon.
Go ahead and click on that too, because that's pretty neat. That's pretty neat. That'd make a great poster.
Yeah. So this was
the green's where they started, right?
Yeah. And then looped it around and came back. But this is even a better one. This is their launch, and this is what it actually looked like. Here, it's going to start again. So here we go. They come out, encounter the moon, kind of get a gravity assist there, and kind of chase the moon almost, and then get another gravity assist, and then head back to Earth.
Did you talk about what the purpose of all that maneuvering was?
No, I think it was just least cost.
Oh, I see. Okay. So the most efficient way to use the fuel.
If you don't have people on board that you have to keep alive, you can afford to do stuff like this.
Yeah, people can pull 40 G's in a water suit.
Yeah, but
yeah, Jamie, cool loops around the moon and back. Yep.
Yeah.
It looks really cool, doesn't it?
But this tells you a much better picture of what actually happened than this.
Yeah, it's kind of a 3D more 3D.
Yeah, because things are actually in motion here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that I thought was this was worth showing this page just to see this to me.
Pretty cool. Oh, we missed one. I'm sorry, Dawn. Couldn't see the sun for 5 days after I got my solar binoculars last week. Lots of sunspots out there. Yes. And yeah. Well, northern Ohio, where Dawn is kind of like that. And did you get the business sorted out with the solar binoculars? I'll be curious to know.
Okay, so that's about it for one. They were supposed to be they were supposed to drop something on the moon, but
Oh, they were?
yeah.
Okay.
But
Oh, the CubeSats, the secondary payload.
Yeah.
I didn't realize they were going to drop on the moon. They were supposed to drop them on the moon.
Yeah. But that was Artemis 1. Next up is Artemis 2, which is also going to do a loop around. It's going to do a loop around the Earth to get up some more speed, and then do a single loop around the.
Yeah, you probably. Yeah, that's what I figured.
Yeah, and then do a single loop around the moon, because
also not landing though.
Yeah, we need to feed and they need to breathe, so can't have quite as long of a mission. But it is going to be crewed. Reed Weissman, Victor Glover, Christina Koch, and Jeremy Hansen. What's up?
I tell you though, I think it really sucked to go there and get so close, but not actually make it. So
Artemis 2 is going to be essentially the equivalent of Apollo 8.
Right, yeah. We were thinking that word. Oh, that's what Apollo 8, before. And John says the binoculars work great, especially with a tripod. Awesome.
And they're self-cleaning lenses if it's raining.
You wouldn't be out looking for this. Because solar binoculars, they've got filters built in.
Yeah. So, it's just going to be a loop around, and here they are kitted up.
We kind of looked at the plan for this, and it seems as though they're only going to be launching these every 2 years.
Right.
Which kind of sounds slow to me. I'm thinking the commercial efforts may take over in the near future, but I'm cool with that.
Right. And the general thrust of these missions is to basically find out what they need for a moon base.
And taking us back to the moon, that's certainly a big part of it.
That's just
more publicity.
Rah. Yeah, that's just rah.
Right.
But if we could learn what it takes to be there, then that's...
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised we're not in sort of another space race because of all the China activity. They've been going gonzo for the moon. They want the land, they want the resources. So 2024 should be a good year for space stuff. The eclipse is in April, so that's pretty good. All right, so let's see. I think you did this part, right? The flight path?
Yep.
And you want to talk about the crew more?
No, just the 4 people. I mean, this is the wiki site. They have links for each of the crewmen.
Yeah, I actually thought it was 6, but we looked it up. It's only 4. Do they talk about Artemis 3 yet? Do they have people?
They don't have people for it, but Artemis 3 is actually...
There it is. That's the thing you wanted to look at.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, this is the people. Artemis 3 is the one that's going to theoretically land on the moon.
And that'll be another 2 years after that. Yeah. So 2026?
Actually, I think it's 3 years.
Oh, okay. Even more.
27. But Artemis 4 is going to be 1 year after that. So it's an average of every 2 years.
Okay. That's where we got that.
Yeah. But so there's a proposed secondary payload just while they're out there.
Oh, you know what? I'm not sharing, so hang on. Talk about that again.
Oh, it's just...
And you can talk about the people too.
Really,
because that wasn't up then either.
Yeah. So
there's a whole nice list. It's a good chart of even someone from a different country, Canadian Jeremy Hansen. That's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, and they've got first or second. Everybody's second, but Jeremy, that's good. Yep. So pretty diverse crew. Pretty experienced crew. Yeah. Oh, and that one has a CubeSat adapter for a secondary payload. Yeah. So very cool.
And now this is launch history, but not of Artemis, of course, because of um, years way past. But
did I say what those were? That's a weird chart.
Oh, you know what? These were the original launch dates. It was supposed to go up in 2011.
Oh, I
and
see.
It kept getting.
Yeah, like a lot of programs do. They get pushed back and pushed back.
Yeah. Oh, and yeah, they're recycling and refurbishing components from Orion that flew on Artemis 1. So they did actually fly the crew compartment.
Okay,
on
that's
1.
good.
But so they may push this back until the first quarter of 2025.
Oh, the one that's expected for next year?
Yeah.
Oh God.
So
okay.
So they're already hedging their bets on that.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, we see a lot with all kinds of different launches. They just get moved, things happen, whatever.
And then
Dear Moon.
Elon Musk's Dear Moon project.
Well, it's not just Elon's; it's the guy from Japan.
Yeah, basically, originally to launch on a Falcon Heavy, they're now launching it off of a Starship. That's the plan.
Okay. That's interesting. Isn't the Falcon Heavy supposed to be really powerful and?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it looks like it almost sounds like they're discarding the Heavy and going, and I don't know.
Oh, Falcon Heavy plan was shelved in light of the development of Starship. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah. So this is.
Boy, there's a lot out there.
Yeah.
Always something to learn, huh?
Yeah. So they have one paying customer, a Japanese man.
Right.
And
yeah, he's the T-shirt billionaire or whatever.
He's going to sponsor 7 other people. Steve, pilots, Steve Aoki, and Tim Dodd,
better known as the everyday astronaut.
Yep. And these are the types of people that he's got. YouTuber, multidisciplinary creative, which means I don't know what.
Does whatever he wants, basically.
Photographic artist, photographer, filmmaker, actor, singer.
Well, and that was the deal. He wanted to take more people more involved with the arts than had been going.
Because I mean, that's how you get it out there.
He's covering their ticket. He can do what he wants, right?
Yep. Yeah, and I actually agree. Songwriters and poets and writers should be going up.
Oh, yeah, I think so, too. I mean, who knows better how to put into words or pictures people who have artistic abilities.
But also look at the mix here.
Oh, hold on. Let me see your screen again.
Look at the mix here of nations.
Oh, that's good.
So.
Yay, well, international type flight.
Fairly international.
That's awesome.
And so now here's the fun thing about this is that it's supposed to launch second quarter of 2024.
So that could be before, especially if it gets pushed to 25.
Yeah, and of course Musk wouldn't be competitive about something like that and try to push to launch first. Not at all.
Cliff has a comment. He says, I have caps that fit over the front of my binoculars for solar viewing, and they come from Thousand Oaks. Interesting. All right. We kind of missed this part. So we're just kind of like, will they be celebrating the Artemis flights in the future?
And
because that's kind of a significant event too.
Yeah,
back to the moon.
If Artemis 3 actually lands a crew on the moon, I mean, it's an if they don't lose interest between now and then. We might celebrate our return to the moon, but I mean, it's a return. It's not being the first one to do something.
True, but it has been like 50, almost 60 years. And from my perspective, with any luck, we'll be there to stay because, Apollo wasn't really sustainable. And anything that we're going to be doing now, I think, really needs to be sustainable. There we go.
Well, everyone's saying that word except for you. But what do you mean by sustainable?
Well, I mean, just that, unlike the Apollo missions, they were kind of more of a Cold War publicity stunt. I hope we're, not just going to lob a few rockets to the moon and then sit around for another 50, 60 years. I really think we need to get serious about what we're doing there and why, and go there and, live, work, and play in another celestial body. It's really time.
So you're
It's
talking
overtime. It's
about
over past due.
Yeah. So you're talking about sustainable as in sustaining a presence rather than
No, well, just sustaining
rather than green movement.
Yeah. That's a whole other thing. No, I'm talking about, not just a set of Apollo launches and then nothing. I think we need to actually get serious about going there, exploring, and keep going, continually doing that, being there. And especially if you put a moon base there, you've got to supply it. You don't want to leave those people, you don't want to cut them off from the supply chain.
Right.
That would be terrible.
Yeah. Oh, and Daniel's
Yeah.
commenting to Cliff. It came from Thousand Oaks. Yeah. Well, so does our show. So there.
Well, there's also a company called Thousand Oaks that provides filters.
There is?
Yeah, it's the same on I got a filter from the Thousand Oaks Optical, I think it is called.
Oh.
Let's mess it with us. Imagine that.
That's my job, Cliff.
Go ahead. Your part there.
Well, okay, Artemis's mission, I already talked about it, is perform research leading to a moon base. And we're just, Artemis 3 probably maybe celebrated for a year or two. And it's just going to be forgotten into World Space Week.
Maybe.
Yeah. And another thing would be really nice is if in 2069 we're celebrating from a moon base. I mean, that would be
that would be really cool.
Yeah.
What other milestones can you think of that would be interesting to you, and why? I would love to hear thoughts from the audience. So I think you did that actually, didn't you?
Yeah, we already talked about SpaceX.
All right.
That's the good thing about a script. You can use it or not.
All right, so let's see. Yeah, we did some of that stuff.
Yep, we did.
Okay, all
talked
right.
about that.
Okay, so I'll cover this part. Lots of exciting lunar excursions planned for the next few years. I think that's worth remembering in 100 years, though.
Yeah, I mean, between Musk and NASA and maybe the Chinese, there should be some stuff happening.
Yeah, and then there's, of course, the 3 different providers won lunar landing, vehicles, right?
Yeah, Blue Origin.
Right, and I think Boeing was, so it was Elon, of course, SpaceX, Blue Origin, and Boeing, right? Wasn't Boeing with her?
Or the big conglomerate that they're part of.
Right. All right, so if you have any other comments, let us know. I'm going to go ahead with the stellar events for this weekend. We're talking about July 21st through July 28th. I don't know if anybody of you have been able to see who've gone out and looked, but there's been some really, really beautiful views out in the west. On 21st, that's tonight, Mars and the moon are in conjunction. Of course, we're sitting here doing the show. Pluto is at opposition. This is a good time to take photos usually, except that Pluto is very far away. On the 23rd, the moon is on the equator. On the 25th is the first quarter moon. And the moon is at descending node. July 26th, Mercury and Venus are in conjunction. And July 28th is the Friday night show. I'm going to do something crunchy, but you can learn more about that shortly. Yeah. I'm going to be on my own, so I'm going to...
And I'll be watching the show from Michigan, possibly commenting and causing trouble like Cliff does.
All right. You can find us Fridays at 9 p.m. Pacific time on the Everyday Spacer Facebook page and the Everyday Spacer YouTube channel. I see another comment. Oh, neat. I didn't know that. India. Okay.
India just launched a lunar lander mission.
All right. Okay.
I'm assuming that it's with a mechanical, lander, an autonomous lander, rather than a crewed, because we probably would have heard about a crewed flight.
Oh, undoubtedly. Yeah, well, I don't know. There were a lot of Chinese things that happened, and I was like, wait, what? The Chinese did something? Wait. I mean, they had a space station, they landed on the moon, there's stuff on the moon, and it's like, okay, why aren't we talking about this? Why don't we know about this? Well, thanks for that, Don. Really appreciate everybody from the audience. You really help us out, bring this to life. And we really, really appreciate you being here.
And it gives us something to look up too.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We really appreciate the ideas you've given us too. I mean, we do like a crunchy topic because AC asked for it. So, okay, we'll do them. Anyway, go ahead.
So if you or someone you know has done something interesting involving space exploration, science, or astronomy, we'd love to share our live. Join us again next Friday, July 28th. Pam wants to talk about particle physics or quantum mechanics.
They are some of my favorite subjects, and I don't know exactly what I'll be doing on Friday the 28th, but it'll be something in that area.
So it'll either be particle physics or quantum mechanics or both. We won't know. We won't know until we look at the show.
It's gonna be what can I find and talk about, and what's like, ooh, hey, look at that. It'll be a rabbit hole, most likely. But yeah, I like that stuff. I like reading books about particle physics, so I wanted to go there next week. Oh, thank you, Janie. Yeah. Okay. I missed that one.
So it was surreal that me and Dave got to stand on top of the Artemis launch tower.
Yeah.
2017. No rocket.
That was in was that Florida?
Yeah. That was Kennedy. Yeah. Remember, he's talked about getting up there.
Right.
And then he says that I watched all of Apollo 11 from down under, and I got to be there for the next dream come true.
Very cool.
Yep.
And thanks, Janie. You as well.
Yep. Yeah.
So let's do our shout out. Cliff, Janie, Dawn, Daniel, Scott was here, right?
Yep.
Yay. And Tex was here. Tex had to go though. Who did we miss? Did we miss anybody?
I
think we got everybody. I'll shout out to you. Jeff!
Pam!
Thank you so much, everybody. Have a great week. Stay cool if you're in a hot place like we are. And we will see you. I will see you next Friday. And maybe Jeff will give me grief. We'll see what happens.
Yep.
Because it's midnight where he's going to Michigan. It'll be midnight where he is. So.
Yeah.
All righty.
If I can find a quiet spot, I might come in as a guest from there, but we'll see. Okay. It doesn't always work well.
Yeah, I think you're going to be tired.
Yeah.
Because you're flying that day, right?
Yes.
You're flying on Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't really expect to see you, but if you are, sure, why not? Okay. Have a great week, folks.
See ya.
Good night.
Bye-bye.